biggest tragedy is the fact that 41 people lost their homes. I just simply cannot imagine what they are going through and what it is like, in a matter of hours to lose everything that you have. And, the community has responded well. I mean, there's been cash, food, clothing, furnishings, but there are still going to be some things that you simply cannot replace. And then you're right. We lost 3 very large, very historic, very beautiful buildings. And something that makes Calumet unique, and I think is important to this community, is that our downtown streets are lined with buildings that date back to the late 19th century and the early 20th century. And people are very proud of those buildings. I mean, they speak to the days when Calumet was the center of the copper mining industry up here and kind of our glory days. And so there have been a lot of people and organizations, Main Street, the Historic District Commission, the Village of Calumet, Kiwanis Economic Development. All of these organizations have been working to preserve and redevelop those buildings and bring back life to this community. And it's so discouraging and so disappointing to see 2/3 of a block simply disappear. But again, as I said, I think good things can come from that. Something else from a Main Street perspective is those buildings had 3 commercial storefronts in them, and they have generally always been occupied. And so suddenly they're gone, and I think that detracts from the vitality of the community and the vitality of downtown. I mean, again, we're fortunate our downtown has always been the commercial center for our community. So as I said, losing those storefronts, losing those businesses is a real tragedy. And I think for me, the one thing I have found is memories have been lost. When you talk to people, in the middle of that block, there was a restaurant, and at various times was known as the Parkside or the Evergreen. And talk to people of a certain age, and they will say, oh my gosh, they had the best pies anywhere. And I can tell you, my uncle and aunt would go up to the Parkside / the Evergreen almost every afternoon for a slice of pie and a cup of coffee. And that's gone. The other story I love is people who went to high school up here will tell you they have fond memories of going to the Parkside and then the Evergreen and having lunch in between classes. And for them, that's all gone. And people will talk about the Evergreen had these old wooden booths that probably date back to the 20s or 30s. People still remember those things. And, people will even talk about it almost with a tear in their eye because, memories are simply gone.